Hi Maria, back with another video. It's 5:35. I woke up around 3 o'clock this morning. I had a really weird dream. I know last night as I was drifting off to sleep, I was thinking about how devastating this whole cult thing is, and one of the reasons why I thought that is because as I got home last night, after meeting that guy, I kept thinking, I hope that he is not a perp in disguise. And that's sad that I have to think that way, but I have to, of course I have to be leery, okay? He was a nice, pleasant person, he seemed to like he knows he has experience, so I'm not going to trip too hard on it. And I'm in control of who I talk to, and so whatever. But when I got home, I was talking to Piggy briefly, and I kept thinking how pathetic I thought his situation was, that he's a grown man and he doesn't have any control over his life, and that his mother dictates what he does, and that's his main purpose in life, is to be basically her bitch. It was just ridiculous, and I felt really bad for him. And then I kept thinking how absurd it was for people to think that you could force a person into a cult in any way, shape, or form. Like when a child, for example, you might raise a child, and when that child's the age of 18, it doesn't matter what religion you raise them or whatever. He or she has a legal adult, as a legal adult, has the right to do whatever they want. And the sad part about cults is that they have this distorted view of what is right and what is wrong, and they're always wrong, and they force their ideas on people. Now, I am not a part of any cult. I never agreed to be a part of Esther Gooding's bullshit. I will never agree to be a part of her bullshit. I don't want anything to do with her. And I was thinking, a lot of people who are in these cult-type things, people who believe in prosperity preaching, they tend to think that anybody who, that it's impossible, or that something, how could it be that you could be able to have things like a decent job and be able to make it in the world without being affiliated with their corrupt church, okay? The point is that just goes to show you how ignorant people really are, that they're that ignorant, okay? I worked my ass off to get everything I ever had. Nobody ever handed me anything, okay? And that's what really bothers me so much. It's like, and some people might think, oh, you got by on affirmative action. No, I didn't. I didn't get by on affirmative action, okay? I'm going to tell you, I am a real living case of a hard-working woman who's worked for 20 years, who have seen injustices all around her, and they have been very blatantly obvious, okay? This is how it is, okay? So basically, it's a very corrupt situation. So last night I had a dream about some of the people I used to know, and John Gooding, I've never met John Gooding. I just know that he's Esther's husband, and I had this dream that he was basically bullying people, and I don't know if that's how his real tactic is or not, but he was basically bullying some of the people that I used to know, and it took place in a cafeteria, and I guess it's because it relates to school bullying too, I don't know. But he was basically, throwing people down on tables, and people were in fear of him. And I think what the dream was trying to tell me is, because this is your subconscious talking, it's basically, saying, hey, a lot of people are motivated in fear, which I already know that, okay? They're motivated by fear to follow into groups like that, especially when they start tying employment and stuff like that into it. And that's a shame. That is really a shame. But, I'm very disgusted, and I think that's a lot of my reason of being ill. I mean, it has literally, this whole cult thing in some way has made me ill. Like when I encountered Cindy over at that Essential Spa, there was something very creepy about her. Like she was mind controlled, and I felt as though she made me sick. She literally made me sick just looking at her. Her and Celeste it was just absolutely disgusting, and they are in connection with, of course, the other Townsend people, and they're in connection with Mary Landucci, and they're in connection with the people that I'm working with now. And so yesterday I was in my car, and I kept thinking, okay, I'm really getting to the point where, what do I do? I mean, I know I need to find another job. I feel really low in energy to try to talk to people because I'm tired of dealing with weird perps. I'm sick of it, But at the same time, the job is literally making me ill. It is making me ill. That's one of the reasons why I go to bed early at night, because I'm in a constant state of being abused, just by being in that job. Okay, so it's like I shouldn't be there. I don't want to be there. Okay, so there's nothing about the job that makes me want to be there. It's just a constant reminder of the injustice and the fact that I really don't need to be there. I mean, it's like, they're trying to punish me because I don't want to be a part of their cult, which is so stupid. So, I know. I mean, it's just like, it's hard to get this, but I do. I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. I need to get away from Piggy. I need to get away from all the abusers, and that's the way it is, Hopefully the town has opened up their eyes, and hopefully they'll recognize, Esther Gooding for what she is. And to never take anybody's word for anything. Okay, if nobody has the ultimate authority, nobody has the right to dictate what a person does. Okay, and if you are in a situation like that, you're in a cult. Okay, you're in a cult, and hopefully, Esther Gooding will get a clue, okay? Because she has no right to tell anybody what they're supposed to do or try to dictate anything in a person's life. I don't know anything about John Gooding. Like I said, I only know that it's her husband. I never personally met him. I never met John Gooding, but I will tell you this: these people distort things. Okay, they act like they have so much education in the Bible, and once again, they're spewing people and leading them to destruction. Is what they're doing. So I can't be blamed for any of it, okay? There's nothing that these people could put or blame or say anything about me. The only thing I did was I lied to my husband, okay? That's between he and I. That isn't an issue that if he was a man at all, okay, which he's not. He's a fucking boy toy, okay, for his mom. He would have said something about it himself, okay, which he didn't, okay? So therefore, I just think it's just a bunch of bullshit, okay? These people have no right to ever instruct me, nor do they have any they have no right to ever try to give me any instruction on how to live, because their life is the worst that I've ever seen. I mean, I can't even tell you. I would never want to be affiliated with any of their shit, okay? So I'm not exactly, I'm glad to drop the Graham name, because I don't want to have anything to do with their filth at all. Okay, so I don't want to be recognized as them. I don't want to have any part to do with them. I can make whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I'm done with them, okay? Now, I will say silent prayers for Piggy, and I hope that people in Bakersfield will also say that too, because he is a victim of white slavery, which is something that you guys need to open up your eyes to. Because I do believe that, okay? I know a lot of kids there's been a lot of books about people who've gotten adopted for that very reason, okay? So I think it's warped, okay, personally. So, I mean, whatever. I think it's weird, very strange, whatever. If it's his choice or whatever, that's fine. But, it's not my choice, so I don't want it. I don't want it. So, I don't believe in being in a part of a cult. I will never be a part of a cult. There's nothing religious about it. I mean, there's nothing godly about it, and I can assure you, it doesn't have the Jesus stamp of approval. It doesn't. Okay. So, and there's scriptures behind it. So, you know what? You guys have to make a decision. That's not my problem. So, I don't have anybody ties. I'm not related to my family, my blood relations. I'm not related to the Goodings, the Grahams, the Wyatts. I have no one. I am on my own. And you know what? Based on the situation, I'm very glad to say that, okay? I'm very glad to say that, because I would never want to be associated with people like that, okay? Now, I don't want to spew any hate, but I will say that I don't want to spew hate. I don't, and I don't want to harp on the cult issue very much more, but I will say that is a big part of my fear, the phobia, because I find encountering these people disgusting. I find them disgusting. So, everything that I've done on my own, I've done on my own, okay? I've never had anybody give me any coaching, any mentoring, and nobody ever gave me any guidance or direction as far as who I am. I am who I am. I got everything on my own. Nobody ever gave me shit, okay? That's the truth. Nobody ever gave me shit. So all the jobs that I've gotten in the past, I've gotten on my own, okay? So I don't know why people are sitting here thinking that, Maria got stuff, or maybe I don't have everything, okay? And what I did have, I worked my ass off for, okay? So people need to understand that. And if they can't understand that, I don't know what to tell them, okay? Because I did. I got everything on my own. So, so you know, I don't need the Wyatts, I don't need the Grahams, and I don't need any of those people at all. I don't want them. Okay, I don't need the Goodings. I sure as hell don't need the Goodings. So, and I'm very glad